Hello everybody, and welcome back to my sunroom here in East Tennessee on this beautiful, gorgeous, warm day in the middle of November. It's 70 degrees today. I just can't believe it. I'm so excited. I'm going to take a really long walk this afternoon. Tomorrow night it's going to be 26 degrees and then our temperatures plummet again. But I'll take all the warm days I can get in November. Today I thought I would take you all on a tour of my orchids. It's just such a pretty day to do an orchid video. I'm going to go over the ones that I've repotted recently, and you all can see how they're progressing. I get a lot of requests for this type of video, and sometimes I just let too much time go by. So I thought today that's what we would be doing, just going over some updates on some newly repotted orchids. I did quite a few repotting videos last month, and I gave tips on how to repot them. Plus I went over certain things that help them reestablish in their pots quickly. I'm really happy with the way that these have progressed, and so I'm going to tell you what I did after I repotted them, and hopefully it will give you all some tips for your future repotting adventures. On the ones that I did repotting videos on, I will place links in the description box below for the corresponding repotting videos. Some of these I repotted so quickly there wasn't much to say to make a separate video, but I'll tell you when they were repotted and how they've established in their pots. First off, how do I know that they've established in their pots? Or how do I know they're happy and comfortable in their pots? Once I see new root growth, and that growth is going down into the new bark or moss, and they're stable and they're not wobbly in their pots, then I know they're established. They've made that medium their new home and they're ready to grow. After I repot orchids, I keep a really good eye on them. I water them every 4 or 5 days, or when the pots get really light when I lift them. I also keep the humidity high around them, about 50%. And I water them with CalMag for about 2 weeks at a rate of about 55 parts per million. That's about 20 drops of CalMag. This really helps prevent transplant shock, and it's beneficial to the newly repotted roots. So once they're established in their pots for about 2 weeks, they're ready to be fertilized again. First off, here's my gorgeous Phalaenopsis Tahiti Sunset. What a beautiful, beautiful plant this is. I placed this one in Orchid medium chip bark, and it's done just fantastic ever since. This one just spiked. I have 2 new primary spikes on this one. Let me see if I can do a close-up of this. Okay, here's one of them. Do you see between those 2 leaves? That's a new spike. The other one just started and you really can't see it very well yet, but I am beyond excited about that. It also has 3 secondary spikes that are active. So this is going to be a beautiful bloom cycle on this orchid when it blooms. Another Phalaenopsis that I did a video on was my no ID Phalaenopsis that I call Marianne. As soon as I repotted her, she spiked. She's established in her pot quickly. I placed this one in the Better Grow mix, and she's in that huge 10-inch pot. She's also putting out growth on 2 of her secondary spikes, and she's going to just be beautiful this year. And here's my Cattleya corner, and on the right is my Lawless Gloriana, and on the left is Patrick. And they both have roots going down into their mossy homes. I repotted both of these at the end of September. As you all know, Patrick gave me the one on the left, and he's new in my collection. Can't wait to see that one bloom. I had to stake up the leaves because they kept trying to grow sideways, and I'm trying to keep him tidy. The flower sheaths on both of these plants look excellent, and so I'm anxiously awaiting spring 2022. Yes, spring is in the heart of every orchid grower, exactly. But these, well, my Lawless Gloriana, she heralds spring for me, and I'm thinking that probably Patrick's going to do the same. So, spring 2022, I like saying that. Several of you have asked me why I decided to do a mix of bark and moss on this particular plant. Let me show you what this plant is doing. Check out the spike on this plant. It just keeps going. You see the one on the right? It just keeps going and it keeps going. I really needed to put this one in a new home. And to be honest with you, I had half of the moss that I needed for this size pot. This is an 8-inch pot. And I had half of the bark that I needed. And it really needed to go into a new home. And so I thought, well, I'll just do a hybrid and see how it works. And it's worked out very well for this plant. So I just had to kind of go ahead and do what I needed to do with the bark and the moss that I had. It's a fun experiment too. And here's my new Sherry Baby Oncidium that Tammy sent me. I repotted this one in Orchiata bark about 2.5 weeks ago, and she's already grown new roots down into the bark, and she's very stable in her pot. Behind that is the Queen of the Night that I'm trying to get going. It's already rooted, and so I'm wanting for it to grow. Back to the Sherry Baby. I cannot wait to see this one bloom. I've been keeping an eye on her here very, very carefully. This is my grow room beside my kitchen, and she's done really well. It's been a long time since I've grown an Oncidium, and I'm really excited about this one. I love orchids, and I love chocolate, and Sherry Baby is where those two worlds collide. So can't wait till I see and smell the blooms on this orchid. So that's my repotting update for today. I've been really pleasantly surprised that they've done so well with repotting in the fall. I've always done my repotting in the spring before, and this has worked really well for me. So I hope that gives you all some tips. Just water a little more often with the CalMag after you've repotted them. Check on them often, and keep the humidity around 50% around them. And mine have done really well that way. And before I end this video today, I'd love to say the blessing over you, your family, and your orchids. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. You all make it a great day, and we'll see you next time.